Everyone, in this tutorial I am going to describe different functions available in Scala. So, uh, as you know, Scala is an object-oriented programming language as well as it's a functional programming language. So, Scala supports the functional programming approach. We can create a function by using def keyword as you have seen that in my previous tutorials I have used the main method by a keyword def. So that def keyword is used to create a function in Scala. So in Scala, the return type of a function is optional, and if we don't specify any return type of a function, then default return type is unit. As you have seen in main method, no there is no specific return type, so I have used it unit, so because it doesn't return anything. So if we don't specify any return type of a function, then that function return type should be unit. So let's start with a function program so that you can get a better idea on that. It's a Scala object. Let's say function test. Yes. So as I've told you, to write a function, uh, we can use def keyword. Def keyword and then function name, then there should be some parameters, and here we define the type of parameters, and here the return type of function, and then we have different statements inside function. Yes, so as you have seen, to write a main function, in main function, so this is the parameter and this is the type of the parameter, and this is the return type of the function. So as it doesn't return anything, so I have declared it as unit. Now just I'll show different types of functions available in Scala. So let's start with the function without parameter. So here I'll call a function that is without param. Let's say without param, but here we'll have to define a function. So without param. Now I'll print function without parameters. Now you can see the function without parameters call. just with the reference of that function name. Okay, parameters call. Now I'll take an example of function with parameter, and I'll pass a parameter here of integer type, and I'll print some message here, function with parameter call, and I'll print the value of a, which will be passed inside this function with parameter. let's say let's say 10. So let's see the output. Now you can see this is called function with parameter, and I have passed the value as 10, and it is passed to this method, means function. Now I got the output as 10. So next thing is function with assignment. Function with assignment. Let's create a function with assignment. Now with assignment call. Now function with assignment call. Now I'll declare a variable, and let's say I'm giving some value date like 20, and I'm returning it the value of b. And always remember that the last statement of the function is always treated as a return statement of that function. Now I'll do that function assignment to a variable inside this main function. Result from function assignment. So I'll just call function with assignment. Now I'll printing the value of result from function assignment. So my expected output should be 20. So let's see is it printing or not. Yes. Oh, sorry, something bad happened. Result from function assignment, function with assignment. Oh shit, sorry, I've forgotten to write this. Yes, it is called function with assignment call, and the output is 20. And please remember to give the assignment here, otherwise you will not get the desired output. So we have to give this assignment symbol, that is equal to symbol here, so that we can assign that function to a particular variable inside main function. Okay, so let's come to the next function type, that is function with recursion. So let's take a function name recursive function, let's say. Yes, and I'm giving some value inside this, and it will return uh, an integer type if I write the logic is equal to 0, return 1, else return c into recursive function c minus 1. So this will print the factorial of the number, and that number will be given as input inside main function. So the factorial from recursive function is, I have to declare a variable that is result from recursive function, let's say I'm putting the value as 5. So my expected output should be 5 into 4 into 3 into 2, that means 120. Let's say if I'm getting this output or not. It come 120. Yes, it's coming 120 from the cards. Yeah, sorry. Now come to the next type of function available in Scala, that is default argument. If you know C++, then you might have heard about default argument inside C++. So basically default argument says that inside function parameters we can give some default value to a particular variable. I'll show it here. The function default argument. Now let's say I have two variables and both are of integer type, and it returns integer type as well. Okay, and it returns the addition of that numbers, and this inputs come from main function. So now I'll show you how default argument works. Now if I'll give input default function default argument, now you can see I can give input from here as I have to give two arguments. Now the expected result will be println addition from the result default. And remember that I have not yet used the concept of default argument. I'm just showing how it will work if I'll put two inputs to this function. So expected result will be 30 and it should come here. Yes, it is coming. But if I'll if the value of n is constant for whatever the inputs come from this function, that is from main, the value of n should not be changed. That means it should be fixed. Let's say the value of n will always be 10. So what will happen here? Now I'll just put only one argument to this function so that the value of n will be fixed. Now the value of this argument will be passed to this parameter and it will add m with n. So the expected output should be 30. Let's see if it's coming or not. Yes, it is coming as 30. So this is the concept of default argument. We are mentioning a fixed value for a particular argument in the parameter list so that we don't have to add each and every time the value of that particular argument or parameter which is fixed. Okay, now remember one thing, that default argument should be assigned to the parameter at the end, and it should remember that it should be always at the end. Okay, so whenever we'll assign a default argument, it should be in the last parameter. Okay, so next come to another function concept, that is named argument. Now what is named argument? Named argument says that during assigning the value to the parameter, means we are giving the argument list, will assign to the to a particular named argument, means to a particular name inside that argument, and that will be passed to the parameter inside the function. Now let's say function named argument, and it has suppose lname, which is of string type, and we have fname, which is also of string type. Okay, now let's see, I'm printing this value, full name from meter should be false. Sorry. Now I'll pass this named parameter from main function. Function named parameter named argument. Yes. Now what I'll do, I'll explicitly mention the parameter name here, enter, and yeah, yes. Now you can see it will work irrespective of the order of that function argument. Now you see in the argument I have mentioned that for fname is anant and lname is dash. So it should work like anant dash, and this should assign to the first argument, but it will not be because I have explicitly mentioned the name of the argument here. It is irrespective of the order of the parameter list. It will be assigned to the name. Now if name has the name ananta and lm has the name ds, so it should print the full name as ananta dash. So let's see if it is printing or not. Yes, it is printing. So that's the concept of named argument in Scala. So these are some different types of functions available in Scala. In my next tutorial, I'll show you how to work with higher order functions, and I'll show you the different types of higher order functions available in Scala. So thanks for watching, and please do subscribe.